Okay, time for math work. Putting my science paper away, getting my math paper ready. Your name, of course, goes at the top. That's still helpful on all the pages we work with. And then you have your big pink trace and write paper. I'm going to say numerals, and then you find them, trace them, and then write them on the page. And then have a new idea for this for next week, but we'll start with ones today. You have your pencil ready, and you have your orange crayon, and your blue crayon ready for the work. Some of them will be repeats, of course. You know, we repeat things, as I say, when people tell me, we did that already. I said, well, did you put on socks today? Because you put on socks yesterday, and we're putting them on again today. Some of them will be repeats. Some of them will be different. And again, in my hurry to get your supplies, I didn't get all of my supplies out of the room, so I don't have my pink paper to know which ones we did or did not do. But repeated practice is fine. New learning is fine too. Okay, ready to go. Looking for the number 47. 47. So you know if I'm saying 40, you're looking on the grid, finding the row of numerals that all start with the 4. And then, you know 7 is in the second part of the decade. So you can look over here and then be ready to trace that. 47. Yes? And then it's not on the grid, but you can, if you choose to, you can make the United States 7, or you can make the international 7. You can add that line if you want to, show that you know the difference between numerals and how some are changed and written differently around the world. Some people write the standard plain 7. Many people around the world use that 7. So I made an international 7 because that's how I make mine all the time, except when I'm teaching you, and I try to do both. Okay, next numeral. 16. 16. Well, that's confusing because if I say 6 first, some people could be looking at 60s, but teen, that word lets you know, right, you're looking at the row of numerals with the ones first. 16. That's that hint. Remember teens from way back in the old days? 16 is 10 and, yeah, right. You remember that. You didn't forget it. 10 and 16 is 10 and 6 more. Okay, next numeral. 83. That's the large value. Wow, I gave a hint away already. 83. 83. So you're looking in the row that has 8s at the beginning. 3 is in the first part of that decade. 83. I'm keeping my work here, so our work can be separate. You can check it at the end before you do the coloring. Next numeral, 22. 22. 22. 20s, that's the decade that starts with 2. 22, that's right at the beginning of the decade. 22. Next one, 65. 65. 65. 60 is the 6th decade. 60, 6 tens, 5 is right in the middle. Okay, read your numerals with me to just check that we have the ones that you should have. Pointing and reading. 47, 16, 83, 22, 65. So your numerals should look like this. And if your numerals look like this, 47, 16, 83, 22, 65. Put a check in the air. And now please color the least one orange and the greatest one blue with your crayons. The whole box. And careful coloring, like we've said before, not leaving lots of white spaces. Or I like 3-year-olds, but I don't teach preschool, so it's not a scribbling, it's a careful coloring. You do that right now, please. And then when you're ready, if you hold it up so I can see, I don't have my crayons, and you don't need to see me do the work because you're being really careful, independently working person. Okay? Good, thank you. Okay, ready for the next row? Remember, columns are these, they go up and down, like all the numbers that end with 7 is a column. 7, 17, 20. Ooh, why don't you point to those with me while we count those? But it's counting by tens, which is differently than just saying 10, 20, 30. We're counting by tens, but we're counting by tens that end in 7. So let's point to and count that column right now. 7, 17, count so I can hear you. 27, 37, 47, 57, 67, 77, 87, 97. Good. That's a column. That's the ones that go this way. And then a row, those are the ones that go across. Let's pick the row that starts with 60. Let's do it. Find that row, and then let's point to and just count the 60s. A decade, 10 numerals, 10 things, and counting. And let's point to and count those. 60, 61, 62, 63, 64, 65, 66, 67, 68, 69. That's a decade in a row. So our paper has columns, decades. So we're reading right now by rows, but when we're finished, we could read the column. It wouldn't be as nicely organized as the 100 chart you have, where they're all ending in the same numbers. And our rows across don't all start with the same numerals, but you can still read by rows and columns. Okay, next row, ready? Okay. 94. 94. I'm not helping this time. 94. Trace it and write it in the next empty box in the new row. Ready? 37. 37. Remember, you can do what you want to. U.S., United States 7, or International 7. Ready? 58. 58. Ready? 70. 70. 70. And you can choose United States 7 or International 7. Well, I'm just going to write all of mine International 7s from now on, because that's how I write without thinking about presenting it to you in the other way. Okay? Take a deep breath. 2. Oh, that's so. Ooh, Mommy, he's making things hard again. Dad. 2. I hope you can find that number. Okay? Point to and read your numbers. 94, 37, 58, 72. Teasing. Okay, double checking. Yours look like this: 94, 37, 58, 72. My brain just had another math idea. Stop it, brain. I think this could be interesting next week. Alrighty, taking out your blue and orange crayons, or if they're still out and you're ready, please color using orange for the least numeral and blue for the greatest numeral. Careful coloring, no scribbling, thank you. And then when you're ready, please hold it up so I can see. Thank you for careful work. Put a check in the air. I'm watching the clock and being careful. I'm going to just do the 2 rows today. We'll do another 2 next time. But let's just do 2 rows today. And then, another math idea. Okay, let's just do 2 for today. Okay, I'll be back in just a minute.